Since the launch of Nintendo Switch Online service and the NES Online, people such as myself have not only enjoyed diving back into these games, but we've also kind of looked for a better way to play them. See, you can play them using the Joy-Cons, and not a good experience. These are just too small, especially the right one with the location of the analog stick. Not a good way to play NES games. Now, I've also used the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which is a great controller. Not optimal for NES games. It's comfortable, it works great, but I never want to use the D-pad because of the placement and the layout of the controller. I'm always using the analog stick. Now, companies such as Hyperkin do have their Cadet wireless controller that you can connect the dongle to your Switch via USB cable, but yeah, still not exactly what I'm looking for. Well, when they launched the NES Online service, Nintendo also launched these guys here. These are the Nintendo Entertainment System controllers, and as you can tell, they look like the legit originals. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this episode. I really do appreciate it. What I want to know from you here today in this episode, out of the games available for the NES Online service, just let me know what your favorite is. I mean, you've got the main Super Mario games, Double Dragon. I have played a ton of Tecmo Bowl again through the Switch Online. So these are not new at the time of this recording at all. These have been out actually 18 months to 2 years. They came out and were announced at the same time that Nintendo launched their online service. So why am I talking about these now? On a recent trip to one of our local stores, I actually saw these and they were sealed. $49.99 plus tax. I didn't have to pay for shipping or anything like that. And it was one of those where, like, I've actually really been looking at the Super NES version. I just couldn't pull the trigger. But these in store for MSRP, it's like, you know what? We're going to take them. We're going to test them out and we're going to try them. And that's what we're going to do for you here today in this episode. So let's go ahead and let's take a closer look, because I really do want to compare these to the original and see how well they match up. All right, so checking these out on the bench, I mean, as you can see, these are almost perfect one-to-one replicas on the face of them to an NES controller. They do have some additional features, which we'll go over in a second. Pretty nondescript on the packaging. The one thing of note here is that it does talk you through the fact it is a set of two controllers and shows you that you just go ahead and essentially connect them to your Switch to charge. Now, I want to see if there's a way to charge these off of the Switch too. So let's open these up. Now, I am just going to remove one of them because they'll be identical. And I do want to check and see if there's any... I guess I'm removing both of them. No documentation or anything in here, which is interesting. I at least figured that there'd be some compliance information for you. All right, we're going to cut down on the reflection here too, because we're going to unbox this guy. So here you have the system itself, or the controller itself. You do have your rail that'll slide right into your Switch. Your release right there, so you can go ahead and slide these off fairly easily. Looking at the controller itself, it appears that there is no other way to charge this beyond connecting either to the Switch itself, or if you have a Joy-Con external charging brick. Like, I've got a couple of them. KMD makes an excellent one, which I highly recommend. Definitely check it out up there. But this looks like it must be connected to the Switch or a Joy-Con charger at all times for power. Now, out of curiosity, I did happen to grab an NES controller. And a couple things I want to check is the dimensions, which that's pretty spot on right there, I'd say. Side to side, tell me no lies, those look identical. Identical. That looks identical. This does look a tad bit thicker, but let's check it this way. Identical. Identical. I hope you all appreciated that My Cousin Vinny reference there, because my biological clock
is taken like this.
D-pad feels really, really good. Buttons feel normal. I mean,
not to mention your biological clock.
I mean, overall, they did a really, really good job of mimicking and duplicating the original in this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead. I don't see any LED lights popping up. Let me see if I hit the pairing button if it does anything. No, these are DED dead. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to charge these up for a little bit, and then we're going to see how they play. That was interesting, the fact that it did the Mario power-up song, or sound, when I went into the NES Online. Okay, I didn't know that that was going to happen. That's actually really cool. The different sound effects, not something I expected. Okay, that's awesome. Now, if you see down below, you can capture using the L button, and then there was one other option that it gave me there. Oh, the home button is the R key. All right, because that was going to be one of my complaints on this, is there is no home button. Well, the R button acts as your home button. So that, okay, that's awesome. Was not expecting that. By the way, we see the Retrolector's just logged on there in the upper left-hand corner. Make sure you go ahead and give him a follow. Good channel. We were excited to have him on one of our recent collaborations. So, okay, that's pretty good. We're going to go into Super Mario 3. I mean, responsiveness, granted, it was just in the menu, but felt good. Okay, this feels outstanding. I figured being an official OEM option, I figured that it would be good. This is terrific. Button presses are responsive. The D-pad feels great. Wrong way with it. Yeah, we'll take care of it ourselves. Got a couple extra coins there too. We got a star. Let's see if we can go back to, oh, come on. Come on. There we go. We want to go to game selection. That felt good. A little bit hairy using the shoulders to get into the into this menu. All right, so that was Super Mario 3. What about the original Mario Brothers? This is a game that I don't think a lot of people go back to. It's also one of those where the controls are a lot slipperier than I think many people remember. All right, so there's one. Now, technically, are these turtles or are these Koopas? We missed it. Got him. Let's see if we can get up there and get it. Got it. All right. We'll go back to the game selection. What else can we do? How about some, let's try, where's Punch Out? And the main thing for this is just to see like how lag, delay, responsiveness, how well that works on here. So far, I'm really happy with this. Now, one thing I would love to see a version of this come out. That's the dog bone controller. Now, the way that this is shaped, it might be hard to get on the, get a rail on it like on the dog bone. The duck works as well. I point out in one of the recent videos as well that I don't know that many people realize that if you press down twice, he'll actually duck one side or the other. Yeah, overall, not hating this at all. This is actually a really good experience. Sit down. Now, I will say too, I have charged these for, or at least this one I charged for probably 3 hours between when you saw me have it on the bench and now. It was pretty much completely dead right out of the box. Didn't light up, didn't do anything whatsoever. I could charge it, and I did charge it on the Switch itself. I did try my KMD charger, and unfortunately, with the length of the controller in relation to the length of the rail here, it would not charge. Let's go ahead and we'll do Von Kaiser real quick before we try one last title on here. Ooh, had a little bit of lag or delay there I ran into. Yeah, I am actually feeling a little bit, and I mean, Glass Joe was perfect, but that's because it's Glass Joe, so it may have a little bit of latency into it due to the fact that it is wireless. Would not surprise me. We hit each other at the same time. We got 30 seconds to get a TKO. And there we go. So the R button does take us back to the main menu. I want to see here if it'll work with Super Nintendo games. I don't think it will, but we'll try it. Let's just check and see what Super Mario World does. So the L and R only worked as the home and home key, basically, in capture. It does not work as an actual L and R. So can't say that I would recommend it then for Super NES games. But while I'm here, let's go down to our menu. We're going to dive into the into the Famicom. Now they do have Famicom style controllers like this for the Switch. You can't buy them in the States. It basically geo-locks you, even though I have a Japanese Switch Online account that I can access. I would love to get my hands on the Japanese ones for the Famicom. If someone over in Japan would like to help me acquire a set, I will pay you for them. And while I have this, and I can obviously play this through the NES Online and the Famicom Online, I don't know that I've spent more than a few minutes playing this. So I got that one. Oh, that's right. You have to basically you double tap to be able to run. Yeah, buddy. So yes, you can use it just fine with the Famicom Online. Okay, we'll hit the home button again. We're going to finish this off with the Castlevania Collection, which is outstanding. Let's see, what do we want to play? Do we want to do the original Dracula's Curse? I think we're going to go straight to Kid Dracula because it's a great game. I have it for the Famicom, and I forget if it's the Game Boy that it came out for. I think it was the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color. But this is just a phenomenal game. This is just a super fun game. I wish we would have gotten a proper release in the States. Now, I have found hit detection on these things is a bit off, or at least off from what I think it should be. There we go. Need more clearance on there, Clarence.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
I love the way the music in this basically goes back and forth from its own little, happy little medley to the original games as well. Yeah, I am feeling a little bit of like the D-pad not being exactly what I would like, but it's not terrible. And by that I mean it's just more responsiveness and timing than anything else. I've got to say, so these do a great job of duplicating the feel of the original NES controllers. And as you saw, yes, I still have one. I still use them. Just because of the fact that they are wireless versus wired, you do have a little bit of a difference in the weight of these versus what the originals were. But you now have a rechargeable battery in here, and you don't have that cord or cable attached to it. The D-pad overall feels decent. It could use a little bit better responsiveness, but I mean, for what it is, it's definitely not bad. 100% usable, that's for sure. The buttons feel great. I was glad to see, because one of my concerns going into this was the fact that there was no dedicated home key built into this. So I was wondering if you need it. And I actually have my Pro Controller sitting right here, fully expecting to need to use that to be able to hit a home key. I'm glad that the R button essentially works as the home key on here, and then the L key is your capture button. I think that going into the sub-menu, pressing the L and R at the same time is not quite exactly as precise as I wish it was. That is an area of improvement that I don't know if they can take care of in a firmware update or something like that, but these have been out a year and a half. I don't anticipate any other updates or anything coming for these anytime soon. Ooh, that could have been bad. Do these deliver a great experience for $50? No! Didn't realize I was going to go down. They deliver a good experience, but I wouldn't say great. And I think for the price, a little bit more expensive than I would really like. I like the fact, at least on the Super NES side, you can buy just a single controller, where these they only sold as a pair. I would personally like to just be able to get a single one of these, as I am the only one in the house that will end up playing and using it. However, one thing I will say is, since I have both a Switch and a Switch OLED, what I will end up doing is pairing one. Well, this one is paired to my Switch OLED, which we are playing right now. Pairing was super easy. All that you have to do basically is just connect it to your Switch and you're ready to go. But we got past that level, and now it is time for our final thoughts. I have to say, overall, these are really, really neat. I'm glad that I found them, I picked them up, and I was able to try them out. Now, are they worth $50? No, I don't think so. If you play a lot of the NES Online, then maybe. Here's the thing. So you saw me, I was just playing the Castlevania Collection, right? Tried to hit the R button to get back to the home screen. Didn't work. Tried to hit the L and R button. Didn't work. I had to use my Pro Controller to get back to the main menu, and then I went back into this. So it appears that the L and R are only functional within the NES or the Famicom Online menu setup. Kind of a bummer. I would have liked to just have a home key on the front, or even on the back would have been nice. It perfectly replicates the feeling of an NES controller in the hand. I did think that it introduced a little bit of lag and latency. I don't think that this was even as responsive as the Pro Controller is, so that is something to keep in mind. Now, Nintendo does still have these available for purchase. You can go through the Nintendo Online account, go ahead and make sure if you have a Switch, you should already have one of those set up. Highly recommend it. If you have the Switch Online, either the family or the individual plans, you definitely have one of those accounts. Now, like I mentioned as I was playing, I would love to get my hands on the Famicom version of these. They won't sell them to folks outside of Japan based on IP address. I may get a VPN and try to fake my way around there, but if anyone out there lives in Japan and would be willing to work with me to help me order a set of the Famicom controllers, I will have a link down below with my contact information. Get in touch with me. I will PayPal you. You can go ahead and send me the controllers. That would be outstanding. Now, if you do have any other comments or questions, as always, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. And if you are looking for other videos that we've done with other controller reviews, accessory reviews, dock reviews for the Switch and other consoles out there, those videos are coming up for you right now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to help support Rock Solid Productions and be a part of our community, there's a number of different ways you can do so. First and foremost, join us over on our Patreon page or become a channel member here on YouTube. By joining through either one of those methods, you get early access to just about all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. We also give you shout outs at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also pick up some awesome Rock Solid Productions swag. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more available through our Teespring store on screen right now too. You can also pick up some of our awesome 3D printed cartridge stands, Amiibo holders, Nintendo DS holders, and more by visiting our 3D printer store on screen right now as well. Links for everything will be down below in a pinned comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything we have going on here at Rock Solid Productions, make sure that you're following us on the different social media networks. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK, and Twitter at RockSolidStudios. If you're looking to pick this and other retro and modern gaming accessories up, make sure that you head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. He has a feature over there called Castle Cash, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. He also offers convenient payment plans for more expensive items over $50. Finally, make sure that you use promo code ROCKSOLID10 when you're shopping at CastlemaniaGames.com, as it can save you up to 10% on most items on the website. Again, thank you for watching this episode, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.